Hey guys, this is Booligan with Airsoft Retreat, BooliganAirsoft.com and Airsoft Insider Magazine. Today we're taking a look in my real gun safe, if you will, to take a look, kind of a final comprehensive look at my AR-15 pistol, which I assembled a little bit earlier this year. I realized that I had some test shots of it, some kind of play-by-plays of some of the parts that we installed, but I never ended up doing an actual final overview of the whole gun. So here we are today. Now, the purpose of this was to build a lightweight AR-15 pistol using some of the more interesting stuff that was available in the market. Now, everybody and their brother was making AR-15 pistols using the SIG brace, the SB-15. I'm not a fan of the SB-15. I don't like really how it works personally. I think it looks kind of funky on the guns, and it's not particularly comfortable for me. So I went with the Thordsen Customs Pistol Builders package, which includes the CAA brace, this buffer tube cover, a special keyed buffer tube, you'll notice has no holes for stocks. Now that's very important because the ATF looks at stuff in the form of intent. They look at it, are you intending to build a short barrel rifle to skirt the NFA? And that's absolutely not the purpose of this pistol build. This was just to build kind of a cool pistol with some of the stuff that's available out there. But to prevent any issues, I went with a keyed buffer tube without the holes so that they can't look at the myriad of AR-15 type stocks that I have available in my home and say, well, you have a bunch of AR-15 stocks with no AR-15 rifle. Therefore, you are trying to commit a felony. So I decided to let's just skirt that issue entirely and go with the Pistol Builders package from Thordsen. It was a great purchase. It came with the buffer tube, the buffer, the spring, all of the stuff that's included here on the back end, and it was about 120 bucks, which is really quite inexpensive considering a SIG brace without the buffer tube or any of that stuff is over 130 to 150 if you can find it. It also comes with a quick detach sling mount point, which is very handy, and I'll show you kind of the best way that I found to use this legally and properly as a pistol. The lower is made by a company called STS, and they're made here in Utah. It was very, very inexpensive, but the thing has worked fantastically. I have zero complaints. We went with an umbrella cord grip from Palmetto State Armories along with their full lower parts kit. I wasn't particularly happy with Palmetto State Armory. They took kind of forever and a day to get the stuff sent out to me, but it got to me. It is what it is. The Selector Switch, we have a Strike Industries Hex 60-degree selector switch. The firearm is not cocked, so it is currently at the firing position. With AR-15s, you cannot flip it to safety unless the gun is cocked. For trigger guard, we went with the Strike Industry Cobra Fang for a couple reasons. Primarily, I like it. It looks cool. Second, with your magazines, it acts as kind of a rudimentary guide to just kind of tap it in and slide the rest of the magazine in. Just a nice little alignment point there at the bottom. It does not work with Gen 3 PMags, but you'll notice we've got very little mag pull on this. The only reason I've got mag pull iron sights on it are because basically they're kind of the best option in my price range. The upper is from a company called 15accessories.com, and I'm also using their bolt carrier group. Now, it seems to work fine. It required a fair bit of break-in, and one of the cotter pins was actually kind of improperly installed. It needed to be properly tapped in. It was dragging. It was causing my it to have misfeeds. But I fixed that, so just the company was good. It got to me quickly, but just make sure, as with all gun builds, you're triple checking your parts, make sure stuff is properly installed like it ought to be. Moving forward, we have a Midwest Industries 10.5-inch barrel and a Strike Industries, if I recall correctly, this was an 11-inch Megafin rail. This was their Gen 1 Megafin rail. Now, the difference between the Gen 1 and the later gens, there's just some design differences between it, weight differences. But this was basically one of the lightest weight and most affordable Keymod handguards that I could find, and I love it. The thing installs absolutely perfectly. It just works extremely well. Love it, love it, love it. Would definitely get another one of these. Now, with the 11-inch, fitted with a 10.5-inch barrel, I did have to install a crush washer in order to properly gap the Strike Industries Fat Comp. Now, if you've seen my test video of this setup, this thing has very, very little felt recoil, almost no muzzle rise. This compensator does a great job. The only problem is that it weighs so much. This compensator weighs more than the rail. It actually almost weighs a pound compared to the rail, which weighs like 6 ounces. The whole gun comes in with a loaded magazine at under 8 pounds. It's about 7.5 pounds, depending on what accessories I throw in it. If I throw this little handy-dandy light here. For Keymod accessories, right now all I have is some Midwest Industries panels and Handstop kit. And on the top rail, we've got a Magpul ladder cover, which is great. Allows you to get a good C-clamp on it if you want, a standard grip if you want. Basically keeps the thing really, really simple. Now, when shooting something like this, I have a lot of people ask me, you know, hey, what stock is on that? And I say there's no stock on it. It's a pistol. This is not a stock. This is a cheek rest. And it's been approved by the ATF for use as such. It's really helpful if you're using like a single point sling. What I like to do is you take it, you take your non-shooting hand, you press forward so that you're pulling tight against the sling. Now, that way you can get your cheek right on here, and you have a great sight picture, and you have great weapon control. You have great pistol control on this thing when you're shooting it like that. And that's fully kosher with the ATF. It's how the thing was actually designed to be used. There's no problem with enhancing a cheek rest or a cheek weld on a pistol, as kind of interesting and backwards as that sounds. But the thing is extremely comfortable. It's great to shoot. I have been very, very pleased with how all the parts came together now that everything's broken in. And for a rough price list of everything, to kind of give you an idea of what you could build something like this for, and I'll be playing a little bit off memory here, so I may be off on some of the prices. This whole back end is about 120 bucks. My lower receiver was only $70. My upper was about the same. My bolt carrier group was about $100. The lower parts kit, including the pistol grip, was about $50 to $60. This little guy here is about 10 bucks. Magazines, or whatever magazines you put in it, I like these. These are the Lancer L5 AWM mags, and I love them. You got steel feed lips. The thing is great. Great magazines. The barrel was only about 120 bucks. The rail is about the same. And the compensator on the front is, I want to say, about $30 to $40 at the time that I put this thing together. So overall, I built the thing, or you'd be able to build this thing for around, I mean, $800 or $900. Really not too bad. And depending on what parts you mix or match on here, obviously, you're going to get different prices. But for that price, oh, also cannot forget the Strike Industries Ultimate Dust cover, which I absolutely love. Piece of cake to install, looks cool, and it does a great job sealing everything up, as well as Strike Industries charging handle with extended latch. I like the charging handle because it's got a little rudimentary gas stop function here that redirects any gas up out of your face, which is nice. So that way you're not getting a bunch of unburnt gunpowder in your face when you shoot. So overall, for easily under $1,000, you could build something like this. Have a nice alternative to all the SIG brace equipped AR pistols out there. Have a very cool, unique pistol that works, I think, functionally so much better than the SB15 equipped ones. Many thanks to the sponsors that helped us out on this. Strike Industries helped us out with a bunch of parts on this. They gave us some support on a few things. A lot of this stuff was bought locally and all the other sources where we got it. And I'll have a complete-ish parts list in the information section of this video. So again, many thanks to all our sponsors, and be sure to check out all of my airsoft reviews on Booligan Airsoft and Airsoft Retreat, my real steel videos, and my airsoft videos, of course, here on the channel. And of course, thanks for watching.